Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is a cake. But we're going to make actually a fudge chocolate cake. I got this recipe from a friend, and she had made it at, her home. And she said that it's been referred to as a tunnel cake, so I've never really heard of it before or tried it or that kind of thing. But of course, I ask for the recipe? Yes, you better believe I did. And I made it, and we're going to make it together right now. I think it's a good recipe. It's great tasting cake. And there's so many ways of garnishing it and changing it up a little bit if you'd like to do that sort of thing. So let's get started, okay? I'm sorry I no longer put the recipe below the video. I don't do that anymore, and I'm really sorry about that, but I'll explain later on. But let's get started. First off, what you'll need is 1 3/4 cups of butter, okay? And I usually cut mine up in small pieces because I think it's easier to cream. It's faster for the video, okay? So we're going to do that. Now I'm going to warn you about the sound of the mixer, so in case you want to turn your volume down. But let's start to cream and break up the butter. 1 3/4 cups of butter. Now you're going to be doing that at a lot slower speed. I'm just doing it to, get it going for the video. The next thing you're going to be putting in is 1 3/4, the same amount that I just gave you for the butter, of granulated sugar. So that's 1 3/4 cups. We're going to just put this in a little at a time and cream it till it's smooth. Now, spend some time creaming it. It might take you 3 to 4 minutes. It might take you longer. Now, if you're using a hand mixer, it really depends on your speed and the mixer that you're using. But again, I'm just moving it along due to the video. Now, once the butter and the granulated sugar is very, very smooth and silky and pale yellow in color, you're going to put in 6 eggs, a half a dozen of eggs at room temperature, and we'll try to put 1 in at a time as we beat them in. Spend some time. I'm just cleaning the sides of my mixing bowl and trying to get to the bottom where it tends to stick a bit. But spend time with this. Try not to rush and really beat this well together. Again, if it takes you another 2 or 3 minutes to do that. I'm going to raise the speed up again, so I'm going to warn you about the sound. Okay. And you'll have this beautiful yellow fluffy mixture. Okay. All right, the next thing that you're going to be putting in is 2 cups of powdered sugar. and beat that a little in at a time. That's 2 cups. Go up on my speed a little bit, and of course I'm repeating the ingredients a couple times just in case you are jotting them down. And now I'm going to warn you about the sound. Whether you're going to be able to see that or not, but how pretty and smooth it is. Okay, now the next thing is, let's work on our dry. So you're going to need all-purpose flour, and you're going to need 2 1/4 cups, okay? You're also going to be putting in 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa. And that is not the kind that you make hot, the hot chocolate mixes. They're just the unsweetened cocoa. And that was, again, 3/4 of a cup. Now, I was just going to grab my little whisk here. And I put it right into the flour. And then just give it a stir. Now, you might say, gee, when is she going to put in salt? When is she going to put powdered baking powder or something like that? Believe it or not, it's not in this cake, and I know some of you will write to me and say, oh, you must have left it out, but truly there is nothing else than what I'm showing you now. What's nice about this cake is that when it bakes up, you have a nice textured cake between a cake and a semi-pound cake, but inside of it the mixture is almost fudgy, or soft, or it might seem like you think it looks uncooked. And I think that has probably a lot to do with why we're not using a raising agent in it. But anyway, let's start to put this dry with the wet slowly. Oh, and also you can do this by hand. It's really better not to overbeat this because you don't want the cake to become dense or tough. But I like to make sure that I put it more at a stirring speed so that I have even distribution. But you can stop your mixer, pull your bowl out, and then start, mixing it in. So, but again, I'm just going to put it in slow. Now I'm going to just raise it up due to the video. So I'm just going to put my towel over here just in case, so I don't have to get all that dry ingredient all in my kitchen. Okay, and like I said, mix it on slow. I'm raising it a bit because of the time, all right? And then I want to, again, clean those sides and get to that bottom. And it does look that I'm going to need to turn it on again. Okay. And then I'm going to just give it one good spurt of time here at a higher speed. And like I said, I tend to like to do that because I'm not going to spend the time as slow as I needed to do that, okay? So I'm going to take out my paddle here. Put my mixer aside here for the moment. Oh, messy, messy. And I'm going to just take off my excess. You know, you hate to waste products. Baking is expensive, especially these days, and you just don't want to waste a lot of product, so I don't want to throw and waste that. Alright, and then now I'm just going to give it a good turn and make sure that everything's combined. And again, I think the worst part of making this cake, time-wise, is waiting to be patient to keep blending it and mixing it at slower speeds, you know. So here we have the batter. It's a rich, light-looking batter. Okay. And it smells so good. When this cake is baking in the oven, your whole kitchen will, smells just delicious. That chocolate smell. Now, if you want to put nuts in, this is the time to put them in. And put about 2 cups of chopped nuts. Put whatever type of nut that you prefer, whether it's walnuts or pecans or almonds or whatever you want. I'm leaving this out due to a friend that's getting this cake that can't eat nuts. So, but again, feel free to use 2 cups of your choice of chopped nuts. Okay? Now, you're going to need at least a 10-inch pan. Or I like to call them angel food cake pans, because you want to have at least a 12 cup or 10-inch. I've heavily greased it with solid shortening, and then I dusted it with all-purpose flour. And now I'm just going to start putting it into my pan, and I'm going to try to put a little bit all over here to even it out, and then I can use my spatula to even it out. Sorry about when I tap. I know the tapping makes that extra sound that you might not want to listen to, but sometimes it's hard not to, or you forget, you know. Alright, and I'm gonna just grab a knife here and get the rest off of my spatula here. There we go. And again, I just hate to waste product. I really do. So I want to get that bowl cleaned out and empty. Okay. And then I'm just going to give it a good little swirl here to even it out. Okay. And with my cloth, I'm going to just clean up that edge a little bit. Okay. Now, you're going to put this in a 350-degree oven, and it's going to take you anywhere from 50 to, let me see, I've kind of forgotten my times here. I'm sorry about that. On how long it'll bake. I believe it's 50 to 60 minutes, and if I'm incorrect, I'll make sure that I put it below the video on the time, but it's 350 degrees. Now, when it comes out of the oven, this is another thing you need to be kind of patient with. let it sit on the cooling rack upright, and let it cool down for at least about an hour and a half before I turn it out and take it out of the pan. I wait about an hour and a half because you want that inside, that fudgy center, to kind of settle down, you know. And then after the hour and a half, I put it on my cooling rack, and to be very honest with you, I wait to really make everything settle down and cool off. And I generally don't start glazing it till about an hour later, hour and a half. My girlfriend waits 2 hours. And you know, you might want to work around that. That's up to you, your best judgment. But don't remove it from the pan at least to that hour and a half. Otherwise, I think you're going to be disappointed, okay? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rinse my hands quickly, and then I'd like to show you the finished product. And how beautiful this cake bakes up. Now, I also put a glaze on this cake, all right? And if you want to use the recipe for the glaze, and I hope, you know, if you're jotting it down or to listen to the video again, it's 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, 1/4 of a cup, again, of unsweetened baking cocoa, and then that 4 to 6 teaspoons of your milk to the desired thickness of consistency that you want. This cake is delicious on its own without even the chocolate glaze. You can put a white glaze on it with powdered sugar and milk, or you know, milk and powdered sugar and water. It really depends what you want to do. You can frost it, put whatever favorite frosting you want on it. I think the glaze works really well as far as the sweetness, but that's going to be up to you. So I went ahead and I did the glaze, and then I put on some chocolate chip morsels on the top, and then I put some colored jimmies to bring some color to the cake. So let's cut into it. Okay, now I've had this in the refrigerator, so it's a little bit firmer. Okay, and let's take a piece out. Okay, it's a delicious cake. Like I said, it's between a pound cake, the density of a pound cake, and not as dense, but mildly dense, could we say. But what a delicious cake. Like I said, I had this in the refrigerator, so I'll just kind of cut it into little pieces to show you. It really makes such a delicious cake. It really does. It's great with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, that type of thing. And again, it will be moist enough inside that you will taste that it'll taste or resemble, once it warms up, like a fudge filling or fudgy type of cake. The one thing you don't want to do is overbake this cake, because when you're testing it, I know you can find where you think, oh, my toothpick or my cake tester's not coming out clean. What I'd make the suggestion is make sure that you, when you do check on the outer edges, and when you start to see the cake pull away from the pan, you know that it's ready. If you go more into this area and check it, it's going to look raw when you take it out, but you almost want it that way because that'll keep the center in a more of a softened state. Now, if I've made it both ways, and some people have liked it when I actually bake it till the toothpick comes out clean, and they liked it that way too. So I guess there's different ways of how people like to make this or bake this cake. So it'll be up to you to give it a try. And if you do try it and you like it, please leave a comment. I'd like to hear from you. And again, to go back very quickly, I'm sorry that I don't put the the recipe on the video anymore because so many people have taken my work, and I'm not alone on it, that's for sure. But they pin it, they post it, they claim it as theirs, and nothing's more frustrating than when I see you have a question or I see that you have a comment and I can't answer it because you're not on YouTube, because you know that is the only place I put my videos on, our YouTube. And if you do write to me or have a question or a comment, I will do my very best to answer in a timely fashion, okay? So again, I want to always thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, boy, that'd be fantastic. I can't thank you enough. Or ring the bell, or just give the video a like. Again, many, many thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.